Hey, Jason Whitlock. Hey, my guy. No, you're not my guy. Guy, come here. You're not that guy, pal. You're not.
I'd love to stay and chat, but there's someone who needs my help. I'll be back. Up and away!
What it do, what it do, what it do. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Run the Receipts. I am your host, Mr. Receipts. Today we're going to talk about Cam Newton defending Joy Taylor. Cam Newton had some harsh words to say about Jason Whitlock in regard to Jason Whitlock making some statements about his run-in with Joy Taylor. He was kind of familiar with her and he knew what was going on. After this whole situation blew up, finding out that, she had messed around with a few people from the workplace, Jason Whitlock, again, having some experience being around her, he had some comments to say about that whole situation. Cam Newton, in turn, had a rebuttal to that. So we're going to take a listen to that and we'll do some commentary.
Now, with this lawsuit kind of coming into or having light shed on it, you have the Jason Whitlocks of the world to say certain things as well. What did he say?
I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, it's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack, like.
So real quick, pay attention to what Jason Whitlock is saying. He's saying that big rack that she has, she showed off that big rack constantly. Now, imagine you're in a room full of men and you have everything showing. A man, he can't help himself but to have thoughts in his mind. We're men, and that's just a natural thing. But Jason is saying, if you listen to the whole interview, he says, okay, I seen this woman and she's showing off her big rack, that peanut butter skin. So you know how she was showing up to work. And in the interview, he's saying, I had to stay away from her. I had to control myself and I had to stay away from her because I understand and know what I'm capable of as a man. And I know what I'm capable of because just like any other normal man who sees a woman who has no clothes on, it's natural to desire a woman. So he says that I had to stay away from her knowing how I am as a man. Now, he's not saying that he had any chance to lay down with Joy. He didn't say that at all. But does that mean that if he was one of those same men out there who attempts to have sexual relations with a woman, that he can't get caught up in some kind of lawsuit like a lot of men do? He understands that that's a possibility. He knows himself and he doesn't want to put himself in a predicament that he can get fired from his job. He can get a bad reputation by messing around with Joy or any other woman. He's seen it throughout his profession and we've all seen it ourselves. Just go look down the line of how many athletes have gotten in trouble by messing with a woman on the workplace and he's been charged with some kind of sexual harassment. So Jason is saying, I know myself. And so I don't get caught up in anything like that. I had to remove myself from this woman because she's advertising herself. So he didn't tell a lie or anything. And then he just made a confession to say that, hey, as a man, this is what I had to do knowing myself. Let's continue.
Jay, keep your distance.
Okay. Hey, Jason Whitlock. Hey, my guy. No, you're not my guy. Guy, come here. You're not that guy, pal. You're not.
And why can't Jason be that guy? She slept with Charlie Dixon. And for anyone who doesn't know who that is, he is the president or the CEO who basically is in charge of the hiring of anyone who are on these shows. So when you have Speak, which is what she's on, Charlie Dixon is the one who hired her. Do you believe that a woman who sleeps around with multiple men has morals? Do you believe that Joy sleeping around with Charlie Dixon, do you think that she has morals and values? If a woman will sleep with men to get to the top, why wouldn't Jason Whitlock have a chance? Jason Whitlock, during his time, he had power, he had control, he had status, everyone knew who he was. So why couldn't Jason Whitlock do just the same thing as Charlie Dixon? So when he's saying he's not the guy, we're talking about a woman who don't have standards. So a woman who don't have standards, why couldn't Jason be the guy? Let's continue.
That big rack of hers, that's inappropriate. That butter skin, that's inappropriate.
So now he's saying the big rack and the butter skin is inappropriate. Jason is only saying the same thing that all the other men were saying, whether they were saying it in their head or whether they were saying that amongst each other. All he's saying is when this woman came in, she had that peanut butter skin and she had her breast out. Why can't Jason say that out loud? Because she's advertising her breast. If anyone who can go to social media, who has a phone in their hand, who has a computer, go to social media and just type in Joy Taylor and you will see her breast everywhere. So when he says that's inappropriate, why is that inappropriate for Jason Whitlock to state the obvious?
Motherfuckers are so sensitive, the whole country is turned into big ass niggas.
Let's continue.
Like, bro, you're not that guy. So to comment on something like this, bro, stay in your lane. Whether Joy did what she did, the accusations are true or not, stay in your lane, Jason.
So, and I don't appreciate that part. He's saying whether Joy did this or not, stay in your lane. Why does he have to stay in his lane? And the reason why I say that is there were people that he worked with. Jason Whitlock worked with Marcellus Wiley. He worked with him. And he seen Marcellus lose his job because Emmanuel Acho and Chris Dixon removed him out of the way and put Joy Taylor in his space. So when he says stay in your lane, why can't he say anything? Because he was there the same time all of them were there. So that is his lane. And then for you to say it doesn't matter if she did it or not, it does matter. Because again, someone lost their job. We don't know how many people lost their job. And on top of that, you're not going to tell me that Joy was more qualified than Marcellus was. You're not going to tell me that Joy is more qualified than a Jalen Rose. You're not going to tell me that. You're not going to convince me of that. Both of these men played in their professions. Marcellus played in the NFL. Jalen Rose played in the NBA. Both of them good athletes. Both of them well known. So you mean to tell me that Jason Whitlock can't state the obvious? You mean to tell me that Jason Whitlock can't say, man, that's wrong what happened to Marcellus. That's wrong that happened to any of these men who were in the business that I was in, and then all of a sudden they're no longer, a part of the program because they put a woman in the place and she made her way there because she slept her way to the top. See, he has every right to say that. So now I'm going to play a video to show and prove that Jason has every right to say that, and he's not the only one who has said that. Let's take a listen to our boy Rob Gronkowski.
So where were we? I was telling a story and then I just lost track. Oh, yes. So my dad was always down there because he's got stores. He also because he has about 17 stores, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Ohio. So he has a couple stores there. And then I became good friends with Noah. So I just started staying at his house because it was a mile away from the school.
So just some background. Noah Taylor is the brother of Joy Taylor. Rob Gronkowski went to school with Noah Taylor. So he had an apartment. He said an apartment was in the same area as Noah Taylor. So instead of staying at the apartment, which was actually closer to the school. And I'm assuming it's the University of Arizona because that's where Rob went to. And he said instead of staying in his apartment, he went ahead and stayed at Noah Taylor's house because Noah Taylor's mom became like his second mom because she basically fed him and took care of him. So he just ended up staying there instead of his apartment. So let's pick it up and see what he has to say.
And basically, his mother became my kind of like my stepmom for the whole year. My
Do you
second
still talk
mother.
to them at all?
Yeah, I still talk to them. They're a great family.
Yeah.
And then what's funny is that Joy is all over ESPN now and everything. And I remember she would come back because she was in college. She would come back and visit for about.
How was she looking then?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, she'd
Very
come back
pretty.
and visit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But now she's like a sister to me. So
Yeah. But I'm saying when you're the young
back
guy,
then when you're
Want
young,
to read another email to her?
I was trying to peek in their room
different.
when she was changing. she's gonna kill me.
But isn't
She's
that funny
gonna
when
kill
you're
me.
a kid, when you're young, you know, and then like you see like a college girl, you're like, wow, that's
Exactly.
like, that's a woman right there.
Yeah. And
So-
she used to work at Hooters too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Go for some Wednesday all-you-can-eat wings.
No,
We did
never
that at
even
Purdue.
went.
Never went.
No,
You're
just
top
just
shape.
looked at the pictures of her working.
All right, so let's go.
No,
let's go from.
No one's gonna kill me.
So now, Rob Gronkowski said she used to work at Hooters. So we're upset at Jason Whitlock saying, yeah, she's showing up to work inappropriately with her breast out. So Cam Newton has a problem with that. But then Rob is telling you she's always had her breast out. For anybody who's been to Hooters, you know what those women dress, how they dress as, and what they look like. You know exactly what they do. You know their cleavage is out. You know they wear the skin tight shorts. So when she was even a server at Hooters, all the men were saying the same thing. Man, look at this woman walk up to us and she has these huge breasts. Do you think Joy Taylor was offended by that? No, she was advertising the same way she's advertising at Fox News or Fox Sports, excuse me. The same thing with Rob Gronkowski. Where's the outrage for him, Cam Newton? He's sitting on a platform on podcast and he's talking about, yeah, man, she has some nice breasts and I was looking at her all the time. Then you have the two other gentlemen are like, wow, okay, tell us about it. And he's like, yeah, I was looking at the pictures of her, man, and you heard the conversation. So where's the outrage? Cam Newton never went online after this was played and said that's inappropriate. But now all of a sudden, Jason Whitlock is inappropriate. That tells you the hatred that they have for Jason, because Jason is not the first, the last, the only, however you want to spin it, the only person who has said something about the way she dresses inappropriately at the workspace. She's been doing it pretty much as far as people have known her. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until the next time, deuces.